it looked like Solo's secondary support pick, but in doing so they left Bane in the pool, which I think is the right choice in my opinion, because I feel like Warlock's a lot stronger in general, gives a lot more utility and team fight. But pretty much what I noticed right now is that TNC going for the Leshrac and the Beastmaster, those are two heroes that Virtus.pro heavily prioritized back at ESL. And looking back at TNC's drafts, they do play these heroes, but I never seen them valuing them this highly. So it seems like they're very reactionary right now.
Yeah, no, it's. I agree with you there. I mean, TNC, they've kind of been lost a little bit as far as within the international scene, competing at a lot of these events. It died down later on in the season, so I've always been a fan of these guys, but yeah, I really don't know what to expect coming into this matchup. Now, again, they're going up against the great team that is Virtus.pro, but you know, we were kind of discussing this before the day started here, and my biggest thing is that Virtus.pro, they're either look like the best team in the world and nearly unstoppable at points, like they kind of did at ESL in Birmingham not too long ago, or they also maybe aren't taking it as seriously at times, and they like to have some fun, and you kind of see that, and knowing, you know, that they've already qualified, they've already got so much money, whatever, I still think they always want to win still. I'm not saying that, but I wonder which of those Virtus.pro teams we're going to see, because that could obviously help determine how well TNC could truly do. But no doubt VP is the team that is favored here in the series, but TNC definitely is a quality team themselves, so there you go. That's my take on it. But I am curious on this third pick now, after the Doom coming out from VP.
Yeah, I mean, Doom is absolutely a beast right now in this patch. They did nerf him slightly on his Infernal Blade, which was a big deal for him. However, just as a hero in general, with the treads or even just phase drums, he has insane amount of HP, like 1500 HP at 14 minutes in the game. He shuts down one of your cores, and he makes a lot of the pool kind of not as good. In this case, we see a Troll Warlord pick. The reason why Troll would match up really well versus Doom is obviously if you Doom him, he can just right-click through it, probably has a BKB, and he has no issues. But the thing about the Doom is that he just puts a lot of pressure on the opponent into picking like a carry that can deal with him. So it shuts out a lot of the pool, and it's very dangerous. Yeah, right now, Virtus.pro, I think they're like, just to go back to what you're saying, I think they are on their hot streak right now, and they're looking back in form, because I definitely felt that in the previous tournaments leading up to this ESL event. They've definitely been a lot more shaky than we're used to seeing them, but at ESL they definitely showed they had so much confidence, even picking techies in the finals, just things like that, just a show of force. And they won it in such a convincing way that I believe that they're on top right now, and I don't think they're going to lose momentum. But let's just get back to the draft. Bane, Sand King can go, either or. Very good flex pick. But at this point, we'd probably imagine it as a 4 position, seeing as Doom is in the pool. Much more preferred to be in that 3 position. I really like Doom a lot as well, because he has so many different itemization choices as an offlaner. So in this kind of game, he can pick up a Crimson Guard, which would be extremely effective into the Troll and the Beastmaster. Or he can pick up a Pipe if they feel like Leshrac's putting out too much magic damage. But overall, he has so many different options. For the Kunkka, that's probably the no one hero mid, I would imagine. Definitely someone who's been a lot more popular. In some of the earlier casts we did, Breaky, I mentioned that a lot of the core heroes revolve around this like hybrid kind of damage right now, because he can do tons of magic damage, tons of physical damage, and scales really well into the game, as well as provides a lot of utility for his team. This is the most important thing for the cores in the game right now. They have to not only be able to scale well, but they also have to be able to take the team fights. And also, Kunkka has a 2 position. As soon as he hits level 6, he loves to fight. That buys enough space for your 1 position to pick up the BKB and hit a really nice timing. So I really like Kunkka right now.
I want to go back to the Troll real quickly. You're mentioning, great against Doom in the sense he's not concerned about the Doom effect itself, but what about against Bane with that Enfeeble? That feels like, it's going to be annoying for really most cores, no doubt, but, that Enfeeble definitely, it hurts Troll, right? It's definitely annoying to go up against.
Yes, definitely, but Troll as a hero generally itemizes one source of initiation, like a Blink Dagger or a Shadow Blade, and that helps him get the burst that he needs to do and be effective. So the Enfeeble's likely to come out after and slow him down a little bit, but his initial burst will be very strong. The only thing that he has to worry about is really the Fiend's Grip, which is a really big deal, because when you have heroes like Bane and Doom, and even another hero like Enigma would be a really great example, heroes that can pierce BKB, it makes the item a lot less satisfying and a lot less advantage. It doesn't give you that much advantage as a team. So, that makes you susceptible to magic damage. Things like Epicenter, things like Burrow Strike, things like Ghost Ship. These things are going to be very, very difficult for the troll. So right now, it is looking like a little bit of a tricky situation for the troll warlord.
Yeah.
But we do see a quad pick, and this is likely due to the fact that TNC had to show their mid pick first, and Virtus.pro has the last pick overall. So they just wanted to pick up a mid hero that would be pretty good in most matchups, and Queen of Pain is definitely one of their comfort heroes for Armel as well. However,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that with a PL ban from TNC, they felt like that was the worst thing for them, and I definitely agree. Troll has a very hard time dealing with PL Beastmaster as well, as even Queen of Pain, and even PL can lane mid into Queen of Pain if you felt like it. So it's very difficult, but there are a couple different options against this Queen of Pain for Virtus.pro. I think. Well, I mean, it's likely to be a Kunkka, but I mean, basically, if they're feeling that, actually, sorry, I forgot that Kunkka was mid, but pretty much they need a carry right now. The carry they need is probably it has to be good against Troll, it has to be good against Beastmaster. Those are the most important things. When you're picking your one position, you're thinking about how do I counter the lane matchup, and then also if I can counter the lane matchup and scale well versus the opponent, that's the ideal situation. And they do have last pick overall, so kind of what I'm thinking is generally into a Beastmaster, like a Slark can be quite good into him, and Slark is probably one of those like very powerful heroes right now because his talents are insane, especially his 25 talent where he gets a 2 minutes on his essence shift, and that's a really big deal because you can come into fights with massive amounts of agility and just tear things up. For TNC, they pick up Undying. I really, really, really love Undying because right now the lanes are so important, dual lanes especially, and you definitely see a lot of strength heroes coming out as well in the offlaner and on the 4 position. So Undying as a hero just counters out so many heroes in the meta. As a hero, he can basically solo zone a Doom, and throwing in a Sand King, at best you're just a liability for him to just spam decay on, get double decays up, get tons of HP. It's very difficult to break through that, and especially with the way that mangoes work right now, where you can just stack up mangoes in your early inventory, he doesn't really have any mana issues whatsoever.
Yeah, I like the idea of an Undying. I always have ever since that whole dual offlane, as you're kind of talking about, has come about, and we really haven't seen him a whole lot though. But TNC kind of stretching a little bit right here, but like I said, on paper it makes sense. Now of course he may taper off throughout the game, but there's that Slark pick there you're also getting at. It seemed like it just made a lot of sense. Ramsey is a very comfortable hero for him, no doubt, and that's how it'll complete. So no one indeed is on the Kunkka. It'll be an offlane Doom in the hands of Pasha with Roger on his classic Sand King. And I gotta say, I mean, Sand King, I feel like I heard a stat recently where Roger on Sand King was undefeated with Virtus.pro. I don't know if that still stands today, but it was at the Epicenter event at least. I'm pretty sure I heard that stat. So that's another reason why TNC should be a little bit scared right here, perhaps.
Oh yeah, and so right now this Undying is going to be a really big problem in the laning phase. I think the best way they're going to do it is by putting in the safe lane. To solo zone basically the Doom and the Sand King dual lane, which I would come to expect from VP. And then Tim's playing the 4 position Leshrac probably would just go to the off lane and become a nuisance. But right now, I mentioned a little bit in the early parts of the draft, the fact that the troll has to deal with both Doom and Fiend's Grip, and also the instant initiation from the Sand King. It's very, very difficult troll game because troll is one of those cores that heavily relies on the BKB and utilizing it to its fullest effect. So if he ever gets kited or peeled off, maybe even a 1 to 2 second, 2.5 second Fiend's Grip, that could mean a big deal. That could be a very big deal for him in the fights where he will never recover and do more damage.
Sam H, bottom lane. This is going to be first blood most likely. You see Leshrac's there with the split earth, helping a little bit, but something tells me it's not going to matter in the end. 1 more second, we got a Burrow Strike coming up. And last hit, they'll even give it to Slark. So, again, Virtus.pro, already a deadly team to go up against. You're giving them first blood now to start on Ramses of everyone in the game. So it's already going to be an uphill battle, even more so for TNC now.
Yes. And that lane is brutal already. Slark into Beastmaster is very Slark favored, especially going into level 6. And even throughout the entire game, it's very difficult to catch the Slark out with the Primal Roar unless you time it perfectly. So as this laning phase goes on, I expect him to have a bit of advantage.
Well, you see TNC trying to take advantage of them knowing all those heroes at the bottom lane, and they're going to go to steal the rune. Pasha, he's kind of making them guess on where he's going to go, but ultimately well played by TNC, and in fact, they will get 3. Are they going to get all 4? Wow, they're going to get all 4 bounty runes, actually. So, I mean, hey, they give a first blood, but 4 bounty runes, is that, I don't know if that's better than giving up first blood necessarily, or like that makes it even, but still, that's a good start for TNC, outside of the first blood now.
Yeah, it's definitely good for them because the top lane is going to be really easy for the Undying to zone out the Doom, and then Doom generally doesn't really threaten Troll that too hard. A Troll can generally fight back pretty easily and kite him out, so that's going to be a very hard lane for Pasha. I like their choice to dedicate 3 to bottom lane because, you know, if they're going to have 2 heroes here, you just feed on them nonstop. Like they will not pressure your Stark. He's the breadwinner for your team. If he gets to a fast Shadow Blade, he can pretty much take off in this game as he had the last pick. He knows exactly what matchups he's running into.
Leshrac, he'll be fine. Taking some good pressure, though, but you got the Leshrac Beastmaster down here. Of course, Roger staying down here as well, so insisting on keeping it a tri-lane defensively for Virtus.pro. That means Doom solo in that off lane for the time being. Tim's, though, did he overextend? It's a level 1 Burrow Strike, so probably not. And Leshrac is a pretty fast hero at level 1, 333 movement speed, you see right there. However, they will catch Sam H. The Split Earth is not even going to connect. A great spread by Virtus.pro, and they will indeed take out the Beastmaster in the end, so that's the second death on him. And thus the 2-0 start, and out comes the offensive tipping already. Love it.
It's so funny sometimes, but you have to wonder like if that should be in the game. But
I don't mind
yeah,
it.
anyway,
I don't mind it. I think there's just a little bit of, you know, kind of poking the opponent in the side a little bit, you know, getting on their nerve. I'm all for the not over the top like that. But anyways, Pasha, excuse me, at the top lane, Scorched Earth. He's gonna pop a salve. He'll be fine for the time being. Man, they dove really deep for this. But he just goes back to full life, and he's just gonna hug the tower. Now you see those 16 stacks of decay, so only has under 500 life right now, despite being max life just about.
Invisibility.
this is
careful.
really, really nice for the Doom. Just at least, you know, if they had a dual lane, they would feel more pressure to lane into the Undying. But because Undying has a stun in bottom lane, we'll go down to a stun the Sand King. Yes. Because Undying has no natural slow or disable, it's very easy for Doom to just cut the wave, which he did immediately. And there's nothing Undying can truly do about that. So really nice start for him. I like that. I like this laning decision by Virtus.pro. It's also, you know, something that I discourage a lot is with the Undying in the safe lane. I don't think that he should have a stealth shield. I think he should have more to the regen, like the clarities and maybe a salve, just so he can continue the harassment. The fact that he has to pop a mango to land more decays means that he's not going to zone Doom anymore. And this is a big problem because now Doom's going to get free levels and bottom is pretty much secured. So Virtus.pro's getting better at the laning phase right now.
Yeah, you gotta think, if he knew that it was just going to be Doom up there for pretty much this whole laning phase, then there's no way he gets a stout shield, right? He probably does get more regen, if anything,
Yeah,
to work with.
you're not trading unfavorably. Generally, you get the stout shield Undying if you're going to go dual offlane because you expect to take lots of different hits.
This is really awkward right now. I don't know if you're watching the middle lane, but literally Bane just came in and put the Nightmare up on Queen of Pain as he paused the game. So this is going to be a torrent setup. I mean, she has a blink. He does have X, though. This is... I don't know. It's going to be close. She has a Fairy Fire. She should be fine, I feel like.
So we're going to mango up the Brain Sap, and that is pure damage.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be pretty close. I feel like they do have the damage if they do this 100% perfectly, but it's gonna be close.
Oh, well, here we go. Auto attacks to start.
Oh,
Undying's coming in. Queen of Pain. Yes, the exit. That was, yeah, you're right. That was more than enough damage. Actually, right there. So well played by the Radiant side, and now the 4-0 start. 3 of those deaths, of course, on the Beastmaster, and he's still coming back to the bottom lane. I was going to talk about this here, Fluff, as Tim's, he's going to survive for the time being, or maybe not so much. The Dark Pack comes out as the Burrow Strike hits. So I saw the Pounce miss, and I figured Leshrac would be fine, but the Burrow Strike is there to save the day, in a sense, for Virtus.pro and make sure to get the kill. But what do they need to do about this bottom lane? Because clearly it's not working out, and they're almost just feeding at a point now.
You have to, like, pretty much rotate the Leshrac out. He's not accomplishing much, and maybe consider doing something making some pressure in a different lane, or you bring the Undying and you just try to have him impact the lane as he can't do anything top lane. And Troll pretty much doesn't care anyway. However, once Doom hits level 6, Troll will need to be afraid of Infernal Blade Doom combination. We're gonna sleep on mid. Should be easy setup here.
There's the X, bringing it back. The Torrent set up from no one. Pulls him right back in. A couple more auto attacks. Brain Sap on top. However, the Decay with the Soul Rip. Undying is quite beefy, over 1,000 life because of the 8 stacks of Decay. Queen of Pain. Don't have the poison on to Kunkka. Maybe going to go for turn kill. Ramsey's meanwhile, he's just going to go ahead and kill Sam H once again at the bottom lane. But Kunkka will go down in the middle, so the turn is real for TNC. Solo's also trying to man up. He will indeed get the kill on Undying, but he'll very likely end up dying himself, I'm sure. Unless he makes a crazy escape here.
TP.
Mango TP. Is he actually alive? No. Whew, hell of an attempt, but it wasn't to be.
That was
Very close
actually Solo's fault because he moved in too close for a double decay, and I gave the Undying enough strength for him to actually survive the amount of burst. Otherwise, he would have just died straight up.
Oh. 5-minute bounty runes. Roger. He does get the bounty rune. It almost cost him his life to Wild Axes. Oh, Sam H guessed wrong. It's good movement by Roger right there, but yeah, he thought he was going to try to hide in those trees. Not the case. So he actually escaped. But Undying is now making his way to the bottom lane. So Slark, he's obviously at free farm down here. I mean, he's 33 and 22 now, as far as his CS concerned. But, you know, somebody we haven't talked about really yet, Fluff, is Troll up at the top lane. Raven, he is having free farming himself too, and that's obviously good news for TNC, right?
Of course, but like I said, he's such a... As a carry, he's very reliant on the BKB. Bottom lane actually gets stunned out.
Yeah, Leshrac, don't think he's living through this one. At least do as much return as possible, but a great nightmare also on Sam H. Now Cuckoo's coming in. He has a Soul Rip. He's going to throw down a Tombstone actually in the distance and maybe go for a turn on Ramses. He realizes that. Will pop his Shadow Dance and run away. You see the zombies now chasing after Virtus.pro. That was not in they were not in the best spot to kill that Tombstone, so they decided to retreat. And that will be the end of that. And that's kind of one of the downfalls of Undying, I feel like, too. You know, we're kind of slowly getting into talking about him when he was picked right there. It's Tombstone, it's like on paper it's a great ability, but when you're playing against a smart team like VP, they're either just going to kill it right away or they're just going to run away, as they did right there.
Generally, players they don't even skill up Tombstone in the laning phase. Usually opt for one more level Decay or Soul Rip based on the situation because it's not all that effective. It's more of a mid-game, early game skirmish type of ability, so it's kind of puzzling why he picked it. Another thing that I'm kind of worried about is this Leshrac. I feel like Leshrac's not really going to have a true way to recover, and as a hero in this game, he's pretty much gonna feed. I don't know how he's actually gonna play this game.
Well, there's that feed you're talking about. Once again, going down Ramses. Shadow Dance gonna be popped on top of Sam H now. A couple more auto attacks should do him in, adding up charges of that Essence Shift, but it's not enough damage actually. And Ramses will respect the response, I guess. It seemed like he could have maybe gone in for one more. It's almost like he thought he had the kill, but he chose not to in the end. So Beastmaster survives this time around. We'll be able to pop the Shrine at least, so that's the good news as a dying. He'll man up for the time being.
Yeah. I actually take it back. I think PPD had it right, because PPD was versus Virtus.pro in the finals, obviously. He banning out the Bane, I feel like it's much more important actually against this Virtus.pro team, because Bane is such an insanely strong laner, and they also pick so many synergistic heroes with it. That gives it a lot more value than just on paper. Actually gonna get a kill on bottom.
It's Undying, man. He is tanky once again, and in fact, they are gonna turn now. 4 heroes ultimately here for TNC. Great rotations, including the Troll Warlord. Ramsey's backing off quickly, so Undying with that Decay, and obviously Soul Rip on top of that. Pretty difficult target to kill at times. Another tower kill.
Now let's see if they choose to defend bottom lane.
Cuckoo. Oh, he went a little too deep right there. I think his Decay charge might have worn off too at that second, and he ends up dropping in the end. So they're actually going to back it off. So little tower damage coming out, but they lose Undying. Troll Warlord, however, he'll try to take the stack, but with VP making the way over, he can't really commit to it. So Undying will now TP back to the middle lane and try to continue pressure there. But yeah, the rotation of Troll Warlord ultimately only really helps to maybe get the Bane kill and not much else. So he's going to try to farm the best he can in the jungle over there. Oh, Armel gets the top lane kill. The solo kill on Apasha using the Sonic Wave in the face. Yeah, how about Queen of Pain? Her start hasn't been the greatest, but she is going to get a solo kill, so that'll help.
Yeah, Queen of Pain into Kunkka, it's super easy for him to harass her down, and just the threat always makes her an easy kill. But I wanted to mention that for bottom lane, if not for these stacks that TNC had, this troll rotation would have been a complete disaster because normally when you have an even game, you have your dual lane pressuring the off laner, pressuring the safe lane carry of the enemy team, and that gives you an opening to bring your carry down, potentially take map control over that area, and then push a tower down. But the fact that they actually defended it with just the Slark and Bane is a really big problem for TNC because generally teams like to Zerg that tower with 4 or 5 heroes, take it down quickly, and then open the map up for the carry to farm. But the Slark feels so confident here because he got such a good start from Virtus.pro that, you know, if they ever choose to aggress this lane, any well, Doom and the Kunkka can TP in easily and just repel that, and this tower will be held for a very long time, which is really big trouble for Troll.
Oh, top lane. The Doom comes out on the Queen of Pain. Solo's there for the Brain Sap assistance, and Leshrac was going to attempt to deny, but a little too much pressure, and down goes Queen of Pain. So yeah, she was trying to TP away, not going to happen though, and dying. He puts down his Tombstone as he gets pulled back in with the next mark spot. It's a level 3 Tombstone, by the way, and he's going to stay alive for the time being. Troll Roller comes in with the rolling axis. Samich also chasing back on a no one, but he's going to run away for the time being now. Cuckoo will manage to somehow walk away after all of that is said and done. Nobody actually dies on either side. And Undying going to make his way all the way back to base to truly regen. But, man, that was a really close call. Managed to survive, however, on Undying.
Yeah, no one tried to cleave the Tidebringer off one of the zombies. Barely missed the Undying. That would have been an easy kill there. But nice play with the Undying. He was just sidestepping it a little bit, making it hard for no one to land that kill. But I just want to stress how important it is that this tier 1 goes down in the bottom lane. For TNC, it's like generally both carries. By this point in the game, in an average game, they're generally on the opponent's side of the map, farming all of that because it's a much safer, much more efficient route for them. But the fact that Slark could just stay here uncontested, mostly because he did get the counter pick on the Beastmaster, there's no legitimate threat for him. Being able to hold this tower forever is a really big deal because he's getting pretty much the best farm possible while Troll is just like hanging around this bottom lane. He needs to get Battle Fury, and then at that point he's not really going to be helping his team. Generally the carries want to take down that tier 1. That's their team-wide contribution, and then after that they're just farming for the mid game. But because he has to farm all these inefficient routes for himself, it's really troublesome.
Oh, caught that on camera right there. It was initially an escape from TNC's side, but then the Fiends group came out from Solo to lock to Leshrac, Undying went in to help, and they both end up dying themselves. So even despite the ship missing, oh, going back to the middle lane, the Sonic Wave got away right there from Queen of Pain as she's nightmared up. Out the Tidebringer hit from no one, and Ramsey's looking to chase as well. Darkback was a little early, but it still gets the kill nonetheless. Wicked 6 streak for Ramses now. But yeah, I went away for a split second. I didn't think Queen of Pain was actually going to commit right there, and I happened to jump right back as she whiffs that Sonic Wave onto the Bane. That was unfortunate, so that's another death on her, and they're going to shrine up on the side of VP. And that's also a Shadow Blade now finished on Slark. We all know how dangerous that item is, especially this is a pretty good timing. Ring of Acula has a Power Treads and Shadow Blade at 12.5 minutes. That's not too shabby.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing timing. Honestly, that usually it's like a 14-minute type of item. At this pace, he's going to be working towards his Echo Saber. I think that he'll go for it. The reason why people are going for this Echo Saber build now is just because it can help you stack up the charges on your Essence Sift, and then at level 25 it's completely devastating, as well as just being able to spam out Dark Pact as your main farming tool. Like Shadow Blade into Echo Saber helps you farm and accelerate, and that's something Slark is a hero that wants to be playing for the late game, not just looking for pickoffs. It's just an added benefit of the item.
Troll once again down here. It's all 5 heroes, in fact, down here. They're going to Prime Aurora up on Sand King. So, I mean, it's 5 versus 1. They better get that kill, and they do. And now they're going to get the tower kill. But the rest of Virtus.pro, you got the middle lane being pushed by no one, which he takes out. Top lane being pushed. And the tower, that is, going to be taken out by Pasha. So it's one of those cases, it's like, yes, it's good that they're getting a kill and doing objectives here. But again, all 5 sticking together, that's not necessarily what you usually want out of your game plan this early on in the game from TNC as well.
Yeah, and that's the team with the Undying. Usually the team with Undying, they just bulldoze every tower with Tombstone once it gets like level 3 or 4. But at this point in the game, because the tower was held so long, they need to commit all their heroes. Otherwise, it would be very easy for Virtus.pro to repel that very simply. The mid lane, actually, Fiend's Grip coming out. Ramsey was scouting out for the vision.
Yep, free kill on Armel, and he has 4 heroes kind of nearby, but there was no way they were going to be able to react. And I wanted to go back to this Troll. You're kind of touching on it a little bit, how he's just kind of been farming this bottom jungle. Should he have left the top lane like he did? Did he need to go back there in a hindsight sense? Like, should he be... Because no one's really been up there, it feels like, for TNC for a while.
I mean, he kind of felt like if he didn't open the map up for his Beastmaster, the Beastmaster would continue to suffer for the entire laning phase. So he needed to make a move, and if it went extremely well for them, or even just averagely well, they would probably be able to convert that into like heavy tower damage, if not a tower kill itself, because Troll DPSs them down so quickly, and that would have been a very ideal move for them. But because they were so behind in the lanes, he just felt like he needed to open up the map for Beastmaster. You know, right now I'm pretty worried for the Troll because the Doom is itemizing for Crimson Guard.
Oh, that was there. Got to kill Tim's over there, find the support. Yeah, talking about the Crimson Guard, though, you mentioned from the beginning how good of an item that would be. Solo, he's also going to be run down, and I mean, he went full panic mode right there. Nightmare, I think he did attempt a TP as well, but instantly got stopped, and there was no way he was escaping. So Troll Warlord at least has the Battle Fury now. That's the beginning of now the progress for TNC and what they can make happen, of course. But like you're just touching on, Crimson Guard being worked on from Doom. He already has a Vanguard with 6 charges to go on his drums, by the way, that he has picked up too. Crimson Guard not far behind either. And now middle lane. They're going for Undying. He pops the A-bomb for him. Gonna maybe try to help set up some turn the Flesh Golem, that is. Doom locked down by the Supermajor, but Doom is damn tanky as we know. He activates the Doom on a Beastmaster. Pasha, look at how much damage he's absorbing right here. It's like he's freaking a raid boss. Soul Rip on Undying in the backlines, but Ramses will finish the job. Pasha's still alive. Gets the Infernal Blade off on Attempts. He finally goes down, but it took so much pressure. Ends up being a 2-for-1 from Virtus.pro's favor. And Solo nearly got in range for a Fiend's Grip right there. Going to be able to blink in time, however.
Yeah, well, Solo actually tried to put a ward down, so see if he can get a Nightmare or Fiend's Grip down. But there's a sentry, so it will be promptly killed off. However, I just want to mention like one of the key differences in these lineups for me is that Virtus.pro, they have a hero that's really robust in the front of the Doom, so can absorb a lot of damage and create space for the DPS heroes of Virtus.pro to maneuver and pick their angles. Whereas on TNC, generally, you know, Beastmaster is basically their tankiest hero. However, as a hero, generally you build very utility and more like mobility. So you want like blink daggers, necro books. Right now he has a medallion, so he's almost never going to match the Doom in terms of tankiness, and he's almost never going to be the one in the front. So TNC basically has no frontliner, and for me that's very troublesome because Virtus.pro can easily just pick their angles. They just throw the Doom in, say, hey, you start the fight, step out of position a little bit. If they go on you, then great. Now we can throw all our spells on top, and that's the ideal fight for us. Whereas TNC doesn't really have that game plan.
Oh, the 3-man barrel strike on top of the epicenter. Solo, he should assist as well. Now the rolling ice is coming out from Raven, so they are going to get the turn kill onto the Sand King for now, but the ship connects on two, including Undying and Troll himself. He's dropping in with the X damage. Also caught near Roshan. He too will fall, so it looked decent there for a second from TNC as the initial burst did not kill them, but the long run, it is favor for Virtus.pro. And I was wondering if they're going to just steal Roshan now, but not the case. But yeah, that 3-man burrow strike for Raj to start that off was huge. Right on that Roshan pit.
Jeez. And even looking at the co-op, it's just kind of sad. She has to go for, she went Veil of Discord, which is an item you don't always want to pick up. And then now she's going to go into the Yule Scepter. She feels like she needs to counterplay for the X. I was just kind of curious.
It would be nice to have, wouldn't it? Would have came into play right here, but look at no one. He's trying to guess where she's going to go and blink into. Puts the ship out, hoping that he's trying to TP, but Armella just going to keep on running. He'll make it out.
Was Virtus.pro the last pick? They were second pick, right? Because they had last pick Sora.
Yes, they did, yeah.
So it's kind of confusing because it was really obvious. It was telegraphed that the Kunkka would be the mid hero, most likely. They showed all their supports and everything, and TNC still chose to pick up the Queen of Pain, but I feel like you don't pick up the Queen of Pain unless you feel like you could just dumpster the matchup, and clearly she didn't, as well as, you know, you have to itemize against the Kunkka as well with an item like Yule's, which is not something you really want to have because you'd rather have Orchid and BKB and be able to scale as somewhat of a right-click DPS in the late game, but now she's pretty much committed to this pure magical damage, and that's not really enough. Like, out of your 2 position, you usually want more of the hybrid type of DPS.
Yeah, and I'm not getting the start that she's looking for. You already mentioned with the Veil. It's maybe not your every game item in this game. It's like they can make use of it, but is it really the best choice? So Virtus.pro, Smoke ganking at the bottom lane. Speaking of Queen of Pain, she's going to blink just in time, I believe, and she will manage to live because of that. So, yeah, very close call. So, yeah, we already saw TNC, of course, with the Troll especially. They definitely have Roshan potential, but that first time was scouted out by VP. Not going back to it, at least for the time being. In fact, Ramses, he's going to find Troll by himself. He's going to need support to finish the job, and he gets it. The Doom comes out, maybe deny him. No, Pasha will get credit for the last hit. Cuckoo's in there with the Flesh Golem for him, but he's just taking so much damage from Ramses. Taking too much. They're going to kill off the Tombstone as well. There's a lot of zombies, but as soon as the Tombstone goes down, of course they don't care. And you also see that Crimson Guard active in this pursuit from Virtus.pro. Tim's Brain Zap, X going to bring him right back into the Torrent, and Ramses again will get credit for the kill. He is 12-0-6 on this Slark. So, you know, good news for TNC is if they kill this Slark, it's going to be a lot of gold going their way.
Yeah, but how are they gonna do it is my question. There's literally no lockdown unless they time it perfectly on the dark back, and you know it's all on the Beastmaster's shoulders, which you would want to use the roar for initiation. So it doesn't really make sense to hold on to it. And Queen Pain just
well then,
I think he was going for the 20-minute rune and just like got slept up into easy kill there. But you know, Slark is pretty much in my book probably the top 3 carries in the late game right now. Because his talents are just absolutely amazing. Yeah,
he really exploded at Epicenter, sure enough, you know, a couple of events ago, and since then I agree with you as far as what we're seeing in numbers especially. He's one of the top carries right now on the scene, no doubt, and VP at that event was one of the first teams to start running him as well, and obviously very comfortable hero for Ramses that we've seen lately. So it just continues to snowball. 9,000 net worth lead again. What's the comeback mechanic for TNC? It's hard to say. I mean, Troll getting a BKB will be nice, but is that even the ultimate answer? I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, like the problem is that Troll as a hero needs both BKB and one mobility item.
Just walk up in Fiend's Grip on top of Armel, and he will die. Promer on a Bane, but he's already done his job. He already did the Fiend's Grip, so it doesn't even really stop that. Leshrac also goes down. Sam H going to get caught too by the ship, if anything. No, he gets out of range of the ship, but Ramses, he's going deep, and he will become godlike as a result. That Crimson Guard from Pasha, once again helping him and his teammates stay alive. So they're just going to push Tier 3. They don't even have Aegis or anything like that, only 21.5 minutes, but why not, right? There's a buyback on Beastmaster. And that, I guess, will be the cue to fall back if you're Virtus.pro. But, yeah, no reason to be scared right now for VP, clearly, in this game.
No, and even Ramsey's playing it safe and going for the Lincoln Sphere next. You know, there's nothing that can really lock him down. He's just going to make absolutely sure that that's not the case. It helps them a lot for just spamming out spells and also just feeling extremely confident. But Slark as a hero, generally after the Echo Saber, you want to go one stat item. So the Ultimate Orb, really, really nice for him. Just HP, attack speed, just building up the charges by being tanky. And then after that, like, you know, he can pretty much go whatever he wants.
Yeah, he's God among men in this game right now. Looking at the Glimmer Cape as well on Bane, it's just, you know, casual Glimmer Cape just always feels so nice, especially on a hero like Bane, for one, you know, the fact that he can channel it and Fiend's Grip, that is, and still use it, but also this is a pretty magic-reliant heavy team until Troll becomes that. That kind of goes back to what you're talking about earlier, even with the Queen of Pain, for that matter, is she is, of course, a majority of magic, especially with the early Veil and whatnot, so VP definitely itemizing for that. In fact, is there a pipe being worked on? No, it doesn't look like it. I guess a pipe not felt necessary in this game right now, considering the lead.
Yeah, you usually go pipe if your cores cannot naturally build BKB, otherwise it becomes redundant. But when you do have cores that naturally build BKB, there's pretty much no reason to build that unless you want it for your own personal thinking. Oh my god.
I mean, they make it look so easy. Yeah. They just said there's a Shadow Blade. For them, I guess it kind of is the Shadow Blade Slark. Yeah, he just sits on top. But Bane's also doing a good job of moving with the Slark even.
Yeah.
And setting up the Fiend's Grip.
Tranquil Boots and Windlace on a Bane.
Yeah.
Still moving quite fast. I love that setup. You don't really see teams utilize that as much, with just having the Slark running in with Shadow Blade, setting up for the Fiend's Grip, which obviously you need to click on the enemy hero to actually cast it. So That's a really, really, really nice setup. I love how they're playing that.
What's the vision game like? It's not bad right now for TNC. I mean, they do have a Beastmaster as well. With that Call of the Wild, of course, with the Hawks flying around. So it's not like it's horrible vision game necessarily, but again, a Shadowblade Slark. It's a lot more difficult. Are they wrapping around? Well, they really are. Troll, he's going in. There's a Glimmer Keep, though, from Solo. Pasha, he runs in, blinks forward. Who's he going to go for? No one. In fact, VP's just scattering away. Solo's going to be your sacrificial lamb, most likely. They just say, buddy, we like you and all, but you're probably dead here. And again, that was... TNC tried to make a big play right there with that's 5 heroes, and the idea was kind of smart, but VP was just too quick. I love it. Playing to win, baby.
Invisibility.
That's probably my favorite line, honestly. Good old Kyle. Right there, the new ones. Oh, that's a catch on Cuckoo. He's definitely dead after this one. Raven, he possibly can beat, so here we go. We're going to see what it can do. The mute comes out, a.k.a. the Doom from Doom himself. The beat down, though, onto Roger. We'll get the kill in favor of TNC, but they lose Troll shortly after. Sandmage also going to fall to no one off to the side. His own BKB activated during that fight. And Ramses, he still wants more out of this. He's instead going to go to the middle lane, pushing the creep wave, and now go for that tier 3 to finish.
This is looking really rough for TNC. You know, just based on the draft, I feel like they're at a significant disadvantage. Maybe their idea of the game, or at least in this first game, is just not really well-rounded for the way the Dota is. Maybe a little reactionary as well, because, like I mentioned, this Leshrac in Beastmaster pick, you know, you show 2 potential cores in the first phase, you know, and then swapping it to support. I know that MSS plays the Leshrac, you know, fairly well in the 4 position, but that doesn't really change my opinion that Leshrac as a 4 is just not that amazing. His laning presence is not the best. You know, he's very snowball dependent, and if he gets behind, he's just food like this. There's not really much he can do to recover. Like, your team will just take all the space.
What is Armel thinking? Why would you go in there, Armel? Come on. I mean, that was just silly, frankly. Like, there was no way he's getting that solo. I mean, I guess Beastmaster was coming over, but that's a really farm slaughter. Yeah, clearly it's at a point for TNC where they're just done calling the GG, and that will do it. Game 1 going the way of Virtus.pro, and indeed, this is the VP team that we kind of saw at ESL 1 Birmingham to an extent. So, boy, not only for TNC, but the rest of the field, their work is cut out for them as far as going up against Virtus.pro, if I say so myself right now. But also, let's not overreact, I guess. It is just one game. Still, they looked good.
Yeah, I hope TNC brings it back next game. What they need to focus on is probably just picking their own style. You know, it seems like they were reacting quite a bit, and you know, I would like to see them, you know, at least take this series to a game 3, if possible.
Yeah, we were talking about it. So you mentioned with the draft, you're mentioning that at the beginning of the game more so as well, but the Bane, you think we should see a Bane ban here from TNC especially?
Yeah, especially if your best answer to that is like a troll, because Bane counters troll, frankly, so, you know, it's not the best.
Yeah. 18-0-8 on Slark. That's usually going to be a winning stat line on that hero, let alone many other heroes. But in the end, VP again victorious, so congratulations to them. Game number 2, though, is going to be around the corner